All right, Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling one the scriptures and citations to Akim across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity with charity. And, I was just reading this morning, and, we're actually blessed to have the breath of the Lord, the breath of Yahweh Shai, Shai, all right, which is what this, basically what's been given to us through the Spirit. All right, it's also known as the breath of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And I'm gonna go into how we've the forefathers of the past, as you look down into our history, they received the breath as well. All right, starting with Adam. All right, so the understanding, the wisdom, the knowledge, all right, that we received of actually understanding who created the reality, understanding what the so-called UFOs are, which are the chariots of Israel. All right, all this knowledge comes from having the breath of life. All right, these people in the world don't have that breath of life, so this is another reason why we call them zombies, because these people don't have the breath, and you have a lot of Israelites that don't have the breath either, the breath of life. All right, you have a lot of Israelites waking up in the last days that they don't have the full breath. It tells you that in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. All right, that's why they're out here. They're doing things contrary to the scriptures, man. Teaching things contrary to the scriptures, because they weren't actually given that breath as our apostles were given, which is the true breath of life. All right, so I'm gonna start here in the book of Genesis 2. This is Genesis 2:7. It says, "And Yahweh, thy power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." So that's what we have become, brothers. All right, we have become living souls on the planet, and this is why the wicked elite, all right, are scrambling to bring forth their NWO. All right, because they at one point they were the only so-called illuminated ones or light bearers, but their light bearing was in wickedness. All right, so they were the only so-called, as the world say, as they would probably say, living. But the Lord has brought forth His men, all right, in these last days to do what? To prophesy. He has given them that breath of life as Adam received. All right, to know that comes with that unction it speaks of in the scriptures, to know all things. All right, Genesis 2:7, "And the Lord power, Yahweh, formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." Let's go into this word breath real quick. See what they have in here. Here's breath, spirit, breath of the Most High, breath of man, every breathing thing, the spirit of man. You go down here to the Strong's definition, it says, a puff, wind, angry or vital breath, divine inspiration, and that's the point, intellect. All right, so if you're in the truth, what you're supposed to have when you have this breath is what? Divine inspiration and intellect. You're supposed to be intelligent. All right, you're supposed to be a person of knowledge, and that's what the men of Great Millstone are, starting with the apostles and elders on down. All right, and the world hates that because we actually have more intellect and more insight on this reality than the wicked elite do. Why? Because we understand their end. All right, they for a small part understand their end, but we understand the fullness of what's happening on the earth. We understand the power that's doing it, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that is what the Lord giving us this breath. The breath of intellect, the breath of knowledge, the breath of divine inspiration, right? And that's what allows us to come up with lessons and do these lessons. That's what actually allows us to prophesy and to see things before they happen. Because that's the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That is a divine spirit, a spirit of intellect, and that is that breath, all right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra 3, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, "In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon and laid trouble upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Zion and the wealth of them that dwell at Babylon. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of the fear to the Most High, and said. So Ezra's just going to give a breakdown, all right, of the spirit of that breath spoken of in what? Genesis, the 2nd chapter. All right, verse 3 or verse 4. O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam. We just read about that. Without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands. And, here's a point, didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. That's what the Lord has done with us, starting with the apostles and elders on down, which is why the world's going nuts. All right, we have been breathed upon by the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, with what? This wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding, the intellect, all right, the divine inspiration to do and push his word is what? The breath, having the breath of life. All right, and what is it going to lead us to? A kingdom, Lord willing. All right, verse 6, and thou leddest him into paradise. So we're hoping to be led into paradise as well. Which thy right hand, which is Yahushua, had planted, which proves Yahushua was from the beginning. And he is the right hand of the Lord. He created everything from the beginning. And now he's bringing forth his brothers that he created that helped him in the beginning. All right, and doing what? He's having the Lord, Yahweh, she's having the Lord Yahweh, all right, give them the breath, because what? It tells you that that Yahushua is raising up those men that the Lord has given him. All right, and those men that the Lord has given Yahushua have the breath of the Most High, that inspiration, the divine inspiration, that true breath. All right, 2nd Ezra 3 and 6, and thou leddest him into paradise, which is what we're being led into if we continue, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. You see? So this is what we've been woken up to. This is the spirit, and this is the spirit that we've been given, that breath. Same breath, the same spirit of a divine inspiration that Adam was given, to know all things, to have knowledge of things. All right? Same thing as the spirit of Yahushua, man. All right, because you read about King Solomon, and he looked into a lot of things. He studied a lot of things. He had a knowledge of a lot of things. He was divinely inspired by the Lord because he had the breath, which is what we have, brothers. And Yahushua had the breath on a whole nother level because he's the son of the Lord, of Yahweh. We're little brothers, and he created us, but we do have the breath of the Lord, which is why we understand what's taking place on the earth. We understand and can discern the times. We can break down the prophecies. You know, some brothers are, they go a little bit deeper in the scriptures. They have more understanding. Some brothers have less understanding, but ultimately it's the same spirit and that same breath of divine inspiration, which is why we understand who we are, which is why we understand we're the Israelites based off prophecy. All right, which is why we understand what's going on the earth, who's ruling the earth, that being the wicked. All right, I'm going to read down this real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. This is Wisdom of Solomon. This is King Solomon. For in her is understanding, spirit whole. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good. You see? Kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power. This is what comes with the spirit, brothers, of having the spirit, the breath, man. This is beautiful, man. Having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirits. Verse 24, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. Verse 25, this is the extreme point. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the unction that we've been given, is that breath of the Lord. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her. This is what we've been given, brothers. This is what Adam was given. He was given the Spirit with all these attributes, and that's what you see a lot of brothers have. We have pieces, we all piece together and make up all these attributes, man. Which is what we make up Yahweh Shai. We are his body. You see, Yahweh Shai had all these things. Now you have brothers in the truth that have pieces. Each of us have a piece